every sales manager wants some kind of report that allows them to see reliably and accurately what they can expect to see come in terms of sales next month, next quarter, etc. But it is a very elusive goal. In this video, I'm going to show you how the SalesNexus CRM sales funnel works. So here we're looking at the funnel, and you can see at the top I have a total of all the opportunities that are represented in the funnel and then an expected revenue number. And the way this works is pretty simple. Each opportunity is represented by the stage in my sales pipeline, which I can define what those stages are. So I have 3 opportunities with a total of $1,000 in revenue at the early stage. I have 2 opportunities at the BANT stage. That means budget, authority, need, and timing. That total $11,000, and so on. But then you notice next to these totals, there's an expected number. Well, that's because we're calculating an expected revenue based on the probability at that stage. So you can see here, when I have an opportunity at the group demo stage, we assume that has a 50% probability of actually closing. But when I have an opportunity at the proposal sent stage, we assume that has a 70% probability of closing. And so what we're doing is just calculating total opportunities times the probability and then summing up those numbers to calculate the expected revenue. Pretty simple, right? Yes, but it's kind of difficult to pull all that together in real time. Salespeople are changing opportunities all the time in the system. The customer is changing when they expect to make the purchase or the options included in the purchase, etc. And all that's moving all day, every day. And if you're trying to use a spreadsheet to keep track of this, you're inevitably going to be a day or two at a minimum out of sync with reality. Not to mention that your salespeople can throw off your revenue projections with just a little bit of inaccuracy in terms of how they forecast opportunities. So let's look at how that gets done by the salesperson. I'm going to go to a customer and I'll create a new opportunity. And we'll make it a nice big one so we can make sure we're going to see the impact on that funnel. So let's say it's going to be 100 units at $800 a piece, $80,000. And we'll put it at the BANT stage. Save that, and I want to make sure and put in my probability. Let's say that's 50%. Now you can make that, force that if you want to, so that anytime I choose the BANT stage, it's going to be 50%. Let's make that 30 actually, or we can leave it up to the salesperson or the sales manager. Now let's go back and look at our sales funnel. Do this quarter, and you can see now the total and the expected have changed considerably. There we see that $80,000 has been added here, or 30% of 80,000 has been added here to the expected number. So my expected number is 37, but if all I do, watch this, let's go back to that. We're just going to change that sales opportunity and move it forward in the pipeline by 1 step. And I change it from what it was 30, now 50% probability. Go back and look at my funnel. And you see now it's moved forward in the funnel. That $80,000 opportunity is here. and 50% of that revenue is reflected here in expected. So now my expected revenue for the quarter just went from 37 to 53, just by my salesperson moving that opportunity forward one step. And in particular, this is the group demo step. Well, this is where defining what these stages mean in your world is the key to having an accurate forecast, and really coaching your salespeople on what these things mean. In other words, does a group demo mean that the customer has told me that's what they'd like to do next, but I haven't yet scheduled it? Or does it mean that we've actually got it scheduled, but it hasn't occurred yet? Or does it mean that we've actually had the group demo and it went well and the sales opportunity is still a good one, right? You have to decide what those things mean, because you know how scheduling anything with a group goes. That could change the schedule of things by weeks. So that's what getting an accurate forecast is all about, training your salespeople so that everybody's using the stages and the terminology and the percentages or probabilities consistently. And if so, then salespeople can go into the customer record, make their changes, and at a management level, your funnel, your expected revenue projection is changing in real time as things unfold in the real world.